friends, and welcome back to the Manifestation Destination. It's been a little while, but I'm glad to be back. Just wanted to pop on here and talk a little bit about online dating. Online dating is one of those hot topics that no one really likes, but has become a necessary evil in today's society, especially with COVID. So let's go talk a little bit about some tips regarding online dating, shall we? And we are back, finally. So like I said, hello friends, welcome back to the Manifestation Destination. I hope you're all doing well today. If you're new, hi, it's nice to meet you. I hope to get to know you a little bit better through my channel, so welcome aboard. And if you're returning, hello again. I'm glad that you liked the first video and you're wanting to come back for the second. So a little bit about why I've decided to make this video so soon. To be completely honest, this was not my actual intent to do this video so soon in my series and in my channel, but for some reason, a reason that I'll probably explain down the road a little bit, I was called to do this video. I was not planning on doing this video so soon in my series and in my channel. To be perfectly honest, I was going to wait until I had more subscribers, more followers, a bigger, I don't want to say fan base, but a bigger following, I guess. Just for my sake, more or less, in order to try to get the information out to more people. But for whatever reason, which I unfortunately do know the reason and I can't share it at this point, or at least I don't feel comfortable sharing. But today I decided to go ahead and make this video. It is an important video to me because recently I have entered into the dating realm. And by recently, I'm thinking I started in April of 2020. I've been out there for a while, but not technically. Anyway, so I have decided to make this video because a lot of these tips, which yet again, the title of the video is 7 Online Dating Tips. The reason for this video is I wish that I would have had this video, or I guess this knowledge, prior to even going out and entering into the online dating world. I think for a lot of people, online dating is kind of uncharted territory. I know for me, it was hard putting myself out there because of safety factors. Just putting myself out there to meet new people in general has never really been in my comfort zone. Just trying to navigate the dating world, being online, and with COVID, it was definitely uncharted territory. Honestly, online dating for a lot of people has a certain stigma, and I have to agree that I am one of those people that did have a stigma about online dating and not wanting to really get into that because of, yet again, the safety factors, and let alone putting myself out there for other people. So I have to kind of give you a fair warning. These tips that I have come up with are 100% based on personal experiences. And like I said, I wish I would have had this information prior to even getting online and trying to find people to meet. So enough of an intro. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So here is 7 tips for online dating. Number 1, do your research. We live in a time where everything is literally at our fingertips. If you want a pizza, all you have to do is either dial the number, or you can even order online and it's delivered to you within minutes. If you want something on Amazon, click of a button, it's delivered and you have your package. And I think that because of online dating being so accessible now, I truly feel that online dating and dating websites fall into that category as well. I know for me, it was very easy for me to get sucked up into wanting to try all of the different websites. Part of it was because if you increase the number of profiles you have, there's going to be an increased likelihood that you're going to be finding someone that's the best match for you. And to be honest, I for a time got sucked up into the idea that there's something better out there as well. And I think that online dating apps and websites kind of play into this a little bit as well. So with that mindset of everything's at your fingertips and it's easy to start a new profile, and because there is the mindset today that there is always something better out there, it's really easy to get sucked into having multiple accounts, multiple profiles, and multiple dating websites and apps on your phone, which is great. If you're wanting to increase the likelihood of meeting your soulmate, go for it. Unfortunately, in the dating world, at least online dating, there's always a fee to pay in order to try to find your soulmate. And what I mean by that, with every single app and website that I used, there was always a fee. And of course, it's not necessarily just a subscription fee. They make it super easy to make your account, make it super easy to start matching with people. But there is always that kicker. And that kicker for me was that you had to pay in order to get access to see who liked you. Some websites require you to pay in order to see who sent you messages. Of course, they hook you and then they want your money. And when I say that I got hooked, I got hooked. At one time, I ended up having 5 different profiles on 5 different websites/apps. And I can definitely make a video regarding my top dating apps or websites for you guys. I think that would be something that would be beneficial to you. So why do I say do your research? Well, like most things, like most products, like most services, everything has its pros and its cons, and that goes completely unspoken for online dating as well. So for each website and app that you use or contemplate using, there's always going to be pros and cons. And when I say do your research, I mean literally do your research. Ask around to friends, neighbors, family members that might have used online dating sources as well, just to try to see what websites worked for them, what apps seem to give them the least amount of trouble, the cheapest app, the best app for their needs. And part of doing your research also includes what are your needs when using the app? Are you looking for an app that's a little bit more user-friendly? Are you using an app that primarily for hookups? Sit down, think about your needs, and make the best financial decisions for you. Yet again, if you want to spend the amount of money it would take to have multiple accounts and profiles, do it. Whatever serves your needs and your wants, do it. But like I said, do your research, figure out what your needs are. Don't get sucked up into the game of feeling like you have to have multiple accounts in order to meet your soulmate. So number 2, making a list of truths and standards for yourself. So you might be wondering what that vocabulary term I just used was, and that is the word truth. And truth to me is basically a moral value, an inner core need that you have. It's something that can be learned. It's something that can change and I guess be modified. But it's something in you that holds true to you. It makes you who you are. And it's something that you're not willing to give up. You're probably wondering exactly what is a truth versus a standard. I personally use them interchangeably. to be quite frank. Let me give you a couple examples of a truth for me. So ever since I was a little kid, I was always brought up to go through the process of having a relationship the right way. And to my parents and grandparents, the right way was to find someone, to get married, to then have kids, all following after getting out of school. So school was first, marriage second, and then babies last. So for me, that is a truth. Once I've kind of grown up and I've thought about how I want my life to look, that is something that I've decided for myself that I want. It's true for me. Another example would be the fact of when I started doing my profiles online, I made it very clear, because this is yet again something that I've never wanted, yet again a truth. I made it very clear in my profile that I was not interested in anyone that already had children. And you're probably saying, ooh, that's shallow. Like, why would you judge someone on that? I'm not. Honestly, I love kids. I want kids for myself. That's another truth. I want kids. I see that in my life plan. My truth is that I want to learn how to raise kids firsthand. I don't want kids that are already grown, that I don't have that experience with. I want to experience the stage when they're infants to when they grow. Like I said, tip number 2 is coming up with a truths/standards list. And I'm serious by that. Sit down with a pen and paper and figure out what exactly you want. Figure out what holds true for you. Are you the type of person that's going to be primarily looking for a hookup at this point? Are you the type of person that needs like a phone call a day? Be specific with yourself. Make a plan. If you're the type of person that needs to have someone call them or send them good morning messages every morning, put that down. It's your list. No one's to judge it because it's coming from you. Whether or not you decide to share that list is 100% up to you. I highly recommend just sitting down and being truthful with yourself as well. You know, now's a good time to kind of explore whether or not the belief system that your parents brought you up with holds true to you. Now, I also feel like I have to give a caveat to that. And what I mean by that is that when you're making this list, focus on the truths, focus on what you are looking for, and don't even give energy to things that you don't want. And why I say that is when we are actively manifesting, which is yet again another term that I will explain in another video. You can look it up if you're interested, but to me, manifesting is basically bringing in something to your life that you're wanting. When we are actively manifesting things, our energy is pretty dang sticky, kind of like a magnet. So if you're giving energy to things that you don't want, the likelihood of them somehow finding you is pretty darn high. And I say that yet again from experience. Number 3, being honest on your profile. Yet again, this is something that I feel should go 100% unsaid. However, if you have been in the dating realm, specifically the online dating realm, you can kind of understand why I feel this point is pretty necessary to yet again re-emphasize. Unfortunately, some people don't have the best intentions for the people that they meet, whether or not that be sexually motivated, whether or not that be lack of confidence motivated. The jury's out. Either way, if you're doing online dating, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to run into someone that isn't completely honest about their profile. And yet again, that is something that you can't control, unfortunately. But you can control what you do on your end. And I re-emphasize it because yet again, no one wants to find out a hard truth later down the road that would have probably counted them out of the situation a lot sooner. So number 4, I think this is probably the most important tip, one of the most important tips that I've compiled today. And that is letting the judgment and the expectations dissipate. So what exactly is an expectation versus a truth? To me, an expectation is a superficial quality. It's something that would be nice to have, but it's not something that makes or breaks you. It's not something that lies within you that you feel you have to have in order to live. I was a Disney child growing up on Disney movies. Princesses, princes being so handsome, hard to resist, saying all the right things, white stallion, all that good stuff. However, in reality, the likelihood of all of that happening, I won't say rare, because there are definitely some great guys out there, and I know that, but there's definitely some duds too. And I think, yet again, I could be biased based on my experiences, but I met a lot of duds and not noble men on noble steeds. So when I was brainstorming all of these tips, there were 3 different subpoints to number 4, dropping expectations and judgments, that I kind of came up with as well. And the first point would be to drop the judgments and expectations you have for the people that you're meeting. Like I said, I was definitely guilty of having that Disney standard in my mind. The chances of that are so slim to none. It only pays to drop those expectations and judgments. So I also feel like it's important to explain what happens when you are able to drop these expectations and judgments. And the most important part being that you're actually able to see the person for what they truly are and for what they can truly provide to you. And yet again, based on personal experience, when this happens, it truly is an awesome feeling, knowing that you are experiencing the person for how they are, and you're experiencing joy for how the person just treated you. So let me dive a little bit deeper and give you yet again another example of one of my personal experiences. So for those who don't know me, I've been chatting with a guy for about 5 months now. So keeping in mind that I had that expectation that he was going to be Prince Charming and he was truly going to treat me like a princess. And I'm definitely not saying that this guy has not been really great to me, because obviously we're still talking. But he's not exactly what I expected for myself. And what I mean by that is he's not the mushy-gushy type. He's not telling me how pretty I am every 5 minutes. However, there have been a couple of instances where he has definitely shown up for me when I have dropped those expectations. And one of the first instances where I needed to drop expectations and to enforce my truths. At the very beginning of the 5 months, we had been chatting for about 2 or 3 weeks, and everything was going smoothly. I overall was happy, but yet again, because I'm me, I wanted a little bit more. Like, I wanted to actually be able to connect with him via a phone call, to be able to hear his voice. You know, and there's a lot of things that a person can gain from actually talking on the phone with someone. So I had asked, I think, first or second week whether or not we could have a phone call. And at that point, he said that he wasn't comfortable with it, which I definitely respected, because yet again, I'm not one to try to make someone feel uncomfortable. Maybe a month in, I realized that phone calls and connecting with him by talking was very important for me. And if we were going to pursue a possible relationship in the future, I needed to know what he was like, not what his text messages were, not what his pictures were like. I needed to know him. And to be honest, that was one of the most difficult conversations that I've had to date. I needed the phone calls, and because of that need and potentially his discomfort, I felt like I was risking losing him while expressing my personal truths. And I had the expectation that he was going to leave. I felt like he was going to feel pressured by me. I felt like he was going to decide that it was more work and effort than what it needed to be. And to be honest, I had that expectation that perhaps it wasn't a real relationship that he was looking for. Rather, it was just a fling. There was no commitment on his end, and he was just viewing this time as a good time. Dropping those expectations with his help, he ended up showing up for me, and within the next couple of weeks, we had several phone calls, and we've been doing, for the most part, at least one phone call a week. So subpoint number 2, dropping those expectations and judgments that others have of you. With that being said, like I've mentioned in the intro, I feel that some people, if not majority of people, do have stigma about meeting people online. And because it's not natural, because it is not the traditional way of doing things, some people can view this method as downright wrong. And I only have one thing to say about that. It is absolutely no one's business about what you are doing in your personal life. It is none of their business what you decide to do as far as trying to meet people. It is none of their business what is going on between your relationship with yourself and the other person. It's none of their business. And the sooner that you drop these expectations and judgments of others, the freer you will be. And that third subpoint, probably the most important subpoint, is to drop those expectations and judgments that you have of yourself. How many of you had those expectations of yourself prior to online dating? That you were going to be meeting someone within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 3 months of trying the online dating site. And maybe you have. I can definitely say that most of us, if not all of us currently watching this video, have had unjustified judgments and expectations about ourselves. And what I mean by that is, perfect example, when I was growing up, I was going to be married by the age of 25 and I was going to have kids by the age of 30. And look at me, I am still online dating. I am a year past that expected marriage date. There have been times on this journey where I have made it very clear in my mind that because I have not met someone, even though I am actively trying, I've had the 5 different profiles on 5 different accounts, and I still haven't found my perfect person. There's something wrong with me. It's not going to happen. I'm a failure. And I'm sure that at least one of you guys have had similar thought processes. And all I can say to that is that's a judgment that you're imposing on yourself. Those are expectations that you do not have to have. The sooner that you get rid of those, the happier, the healthier, and the more free you'll be. Tip number 5. Trust your gut. I personally love the saying, if you smell smoke, there's usually fire. Trust your gut. You know yourself better than anyone out there. If something feels off to you, if you feel that someone's not being 100% truthful, if you do not feel that someone's intentions are good, trust that. Trust your initial instinct. Chances are there's probably something that's going on underneath the surface that you can't quite identify at this point. Point number 6, trust the process. Like I have said throughout the video, I have had expectations upon myself since the very beginning, and because of those expectations and because of our culture teaching us how we are to try to get from point A to point B in the quickest, most efficient possible way, and that's because time is money. Because we are so goal driven, we focus on the end prize. We focus on that relationship. We focus on the marriage. We focus on the kids. We focus on the nice white picket fence with a nice house with the suburban in the driveway. What we forget is that part of online dating and part of dating in general is a process. It's a way to try to help find ourselves, because what we tend to forget is each person that we meet along this dating journey is a lesson, and you're forgetting to have fun. We're so focused on trying to get to that end goal that we miss out on all of these opportunities. Maybe you needed to bump into that person in order to give you a skill or a mindset or a new belief, or to shake up your world in order for you to meet the next person that's could be your soulmate, or it could be another lesson. What I'm trying to emphasize is to have fun and to trust the process. And number 7, the most important, and yet again I said this for multiple points, so I apologize, but I truly feel like this is the most important point. Tip number 7, be safe. Do you have a plan? That plan could be for a wide variety of different subjects, situations, topics. And with that being said, those are the 7 tips that I feel are important for online dating. I really appreciate you guys watching the entire video. I know that it was a long-winded message, but I feel it's an important message to get out there for my friends on YouTube. But that is all for today. Like I said, leave a comment if any of these tips resonated with you. Be sure to give the video a like. Feel free to subscribe, hit the bell. That way you're notified when I upload a new video. And I implore you to remember to live faithfully, to lead courageously, and to love unconditionally. See you later. Bye. There's a bee. One of the bad parts about filming in nature. Lots of natural sunshine. Do you hear that? The chirping. Beep, beep. That's a cardinal, my friends.